I'm just gonna have to look like Laura Danbury while I do this recap. But I had my second day of CNA school. It's almost time for the third day. I'm in a weekend program for CNA, and on my second day back, we started the morning by practicing the skills that we learned the day before, which was blood pressures, pulse, and respirations. And I feel like there was something else we did because they split us into two groups. And there was one group that worked on doing blood pressures if they were having difficulty reading those, and then the others of us practiced doing pulse and respirations. And then after that, we came back together and we had a quick review for our test. We will have a test every class period going forward. So on day 2, that was the first time we took a test. And basically my program is a hybrid program. So you get your educational information type stuff that you have to study. You get that online. So they publish the modules. You have so much that you have to read from those modules. And then when you go to class right before so she doesn't teach it, but right before you take the test, she does a quick review with you. For me, the review was actually stuff that was not in the modules that they told us to read to prepare. It was along those lines, but it was additional information. I promise nothing as bad is happening. That is my poodle puppy. She's about 6 months old and she is very vocal. She hears me out here in the garage and she wants me to come in. Okay. And just so she can play. And she's been out all day. She's really only been in there for a short time. I know I look like Laura Danbury, but I just brushed my hair down a little bit. I've been in the car kind of picking with it because I went to the store. I came back, I sat in the car and ate my little food, and then I did scroll a little bit, and I've gotten out and I'm going back in, and I promise she's very loved and very well taken care of. In fact, her brother and sister are in there and they are being very quiet as they wait for me to come. They've had lots of treats and lots of playtime today. But at any rate, so she did her quick review and then we took our test. This particular test was 50 questions. It was mostly multiple choice, and then we had 4 problems that were basic conversion math problems. So we had to convert inches into feet. For converting height, we had to do some simple math in adding up fluid intake and things like that. So these are all things that, your program will have you test, whenever, but it was part of the readings that we did for the module. So once we were done with our test, we had a break because it just so happens that it was untimed. We could take our time. Nobody took extremely long. We all finished, within a good bit of time from each other. Then we were able to go to lunch. When we came back, we got our answer sheets back, and our instructor went over the results of the test. You could ask any questions if you were confused about why your answer was incorrect or if you needed to know what the incorrect answer was. And then those things were collected back from us, and then we went and we learned some new skills. So, we also practiced weight. That was what we did the day before. So, or was it that day? I don't know. So after that, we practiced weight. And then we also learned how to reposition someone. So like taking someone from laying on their back to rotating them on their side, and the things that you have to do to properly position them to prevent injuries from laying down, like pressure sores. And then we learned the technique for washing our hands. And we also learned how to make up the bed. And I don't know if it was just like the training bed or if we're going to actually use this when we are making up operating or when we are making up patient room beds. But I do think it is because one of the girls was like, well, I'm not going to be making up the bed with somebody in it. And she was like, you might. And then she just kind of showed us how we would adjust making up the bed if we had to make up the bed with someone in it. And that was day 2 of my weekend CNA program.